sinking down, almost like the tension is draining out through the feet into the floor. I invite you to bring the hands gently up in front of the belly with some space between the hands, with some space between the belly and the hands. So there can be this gentle activation in the arms because we're holding them up. But as much as we can, we release the elbows, we release the shoulders, release the back of the shoulders, release the belly. We often feel we have to hold our belly in, but now you're fully allowed to release your belly. This is about how standing feels to you, not about how standing looks. Find your own form, your own standing. Release the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the front of the neck. Allow energy to move freely up and down the body, the spine. The gaze is soft. The awareness is distributed across the whole body. And let's check in again with the different parts. If we can release any further, the feet, toes, the ankles, relaxing the ankle joints, the calves, and the knees, the thighs. This is about finding the minimum effort required for standing. The place where the thigh bone connects to the pelvis, the groins, the butt cheeks, the whole pelvic area. You remember, it's not about finding a fixed place. It's not about balance as an endpoint, as a place, as a still place to hold. It's more about the act of balancing, the subtle dance that's going on, the micro adjustments. And feeling the belly and the lower body, the lower torso all the way around. You might sense your breath flowing there. Natural breath. Checking in if the body wants to come forward more. Does the center, the pelvis want to come forward more or back? Left or right, up or down? Releasing the ribs, all the muscles around the rib cage. The shoulder blades, the shoulder joint. Let the elbows be heavy, even though we are holding the posture, holding the form. Let the wrists soften, even as they are still live. Let the hands soften. The throat and neck soften. Let the skull soften. Let the brain inside your skull soften. Let the face soften. The head doesn't have to be fixed, still in the same place. You might even find the head gently bobs up and down as you breathe, nodding forward as you breathe in, very subtly, as the spine lengthens on the inhale. And we start disappearing into this form, into the movement of standing, into the state of standing. Becoming like the sea kelp, the invisible forests of the ocean. Breathing. In whatever places you start to feel tension arising, welcoming you to gently bring mind there and invite these places to open, to release from the center to the periphery. Tension will still remain, some tension, but we can release a lot of. And gently, gently, you can release the arms. Feel the difference. Welcome anything that's here, any state, any resistance, any feelings, and welcome you to transition to the sitting posture. In sitting, settling into your posture, feeling the whole body. We will find the same here. So let's lean forward and back, subtly discerning the center while lengthening up, while floating up. And left and right. You can feel pressure increasing in right sit bone, left sit bone. Spine gently undulates, oscillates. And let's feel these two forces up and down. The first one up, a sense of buoyancy, a sense of uplifting, a sense of getting tall, as if the whole cells of the body were filled with something lighter than air. And then the opposing force, the force of gravity. Feel that in all your body. The release. The buoyant, uplifting, and the release of gravity. And then find the balance. And then allow the body naturally to balance. Balancing between up, down, forward, backward, left, right. And like a sea kelp in a very, very still, undisturbed water, movement becomes more and more subtle. Rather than you holding a stillness, rather than you fixing a stillness in the body, the stillness arises as a consequence of the absence of movement. And absolute stillness is not possible as the breath continues to flow, as the heart continues to beat. And feel this breath in the body. The Buddha's instructions for mindfulness of breathing is feeling. After we feel the breath, the inhale, the exhale, the length, we begin to feel breath in the whole body. Sense the breath in the whole body. Breathing with the whole body might feel like a subtle shimmer throughout the body. Just like a sea kelp that is breathing with its whole body, the carbon dioxide. Feel any movement in the body. And you are this breathing underwater sea kelp. Sometimes the water is more turbulent, sometimes quite still. Thoughts are like the waves somewhere up there in the surface of the water. Thoughts are also a kind of movement. No need to give too much importance to their content, just recognizing them or their movement through the mental space as we abide as this sea kelp, breathing sea kelp, balancing sea kelp. Take off the straitjacket of stillness. Allow the stillness to be a breathing, subtly moving stillness. Let's tune into a quite subtle sensation in the whole body. It's a kind of shimmer, a kind of tingle, or a gentle current of bioelectricity. It's easiest to feel in the hands. Feel the hands, the surface of the hands, and the inside of the hands. And you might sense there a kind of shimmering, a kind of subtle movement. For some, it's more like a tingle, or a vibrating, or a buzzing, or energy, or a warmth. It's a kind of movement, very small, subtle. You can't really see the particles, only the waves, only the movement. You might, if you can sense this there in the hands, see if you can extend your awareness to your arms, sensing this shimmering in the arms. Hands and arms and feet. Hands and feet. Feet and legs. Hands and arms and feet and legs. Torso. Wherever there is numbness or solidity, just welcome those layers of the experience. Underneath it, there's a lot of sensation. Because of habits of not feeling our body, these sensations kind of freeze over or become covered, concealed by tension or numbness. Welcome this tension or this numbness. Release it. And the head, face, surface of the head, inside the head, the brain. There are so many sensations in the brain. It's where we usually feel our thoughts also. Allow these layers and layers of sensations to open up in their own time through your listening, through your attentive, welcoming awareness. And the whole body. The shimmering in the whole body. And the breath that is breathing your body. And one last there are giant sea kelp forests that form very long, continuous canopies covering many, many square kilometers in the ocean. And they are acting almost like a single organism. So they are like mycelium, which are all part of the same being. The individual strands, the individual kelps are all interconnected to the other kelps strand. And so, can we, for a moment, for the last minute, sense that we are a single strand, a single part, expression of a much bigger interconnected forest ecosystem. So this ecosystem, this bigger organism can be here. All of us meditators sitting together now. Can be our fellow humans, or more broadly, any life, any organism. The sense I am not alone, I am a tiny part of something ancestral, something huge, something vast and organic. Okay, and with that, gently reconnecting by opening the eyes, maybe taking a moment to look around you at the life around you. If you can, have a look at something that is alive, like a plant or a tree or something out of your window or your pet. Mm, okay. Thank you very much for practicing together, my fellow sea kelps. Um, as always, welcome to stay now for some minutes and do some sharing or some questions. Otherwise, we will see you next Sunday or next meditation. Thank you. Ah, Okay. If anyone feels the call to share anything, can also be more fun facts about sea kelp or anything about meditation, your practice. Welcome.
This week I've been reading, hi everybody, first of all. I've been reading a book, the new book by Michael Pollan called A World Appears about consciousness. And he's trying to figure it out. Sort of talking with scientists and meditators but the whole first section is about sentience and plant consciousness, basically. And so this whole meditation was reminding me of that. And I think you'd like the book. I recommend it.
Wow, amazing. What was it called?
It's
A
called The World, or A World, or The World Appears. And it's really fascinating as a meditator to read it because it's all about that idea of who and what is aware.
hmm,
And that's the question that neuroscience is not able to answer. There's all these theories about consciousness, but they call it the hard question of like
hmm.
what is the entity that is aware, and nobody's been able to answer it. And so he's just kind of exploring it from lots of perspectives, but there's a lot about plants.
Wow,
So thanks
sounds
for
amazing.
being inside my brain as always.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, the plant consciousness is the amazing consciousness to be inside. Yeah. I want to read this book.
Sorry, my voice is a little weird. I'm at the end of a really nasty cold. Um, and I'm really grateful, happy to be here with everybody. And Raymar, I've really appreciated the last week's meditation I watched during the week and the invitation to spend so much time standing with close attention to it. Um, it's just such an amazingly it's like the loudest stillness is sort of how I experience it, like just so much movement, tiny little movements, and that I've just really appreciated the intensity of the focus of all of the little adjustments and the finding that balance between effort and not effort and how it's never ending. And I mean, it's such an obvious thing to say, but I it just to feel it in the body has been really interesting. It's very fascinating, and I appreciate the experience of the standing, doing that, and then going to sitting, which suddenly then feels still movement, but quieter than the standing, even though they're both stillness, and the the vast difference between those two, even though maybe before this week I didn't really think of them that much differently. Um, and yeah, so it's an expansive place to explore and play. Um, I also find standing still for that long. I mean, it's not that long, but I have some the bottoms of my feet, the my capillaries get very reactive and they can like contract. I've had a lot of cold exposure that's made them, and I've had a job where I stand for many hours on a hard floor. Um, and so standing for a long time can make the bottoms of my feet get numb and cold. And so I've been trying to play with how can I explore that and like shift my position a little, just ever so slightly, so there's less pressure in certain areas and see if that changes things. So, um, yeah, that's I've really enjoyed the exploring the loudness of standing.
Hmm, hmm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. I've been doing every morning 20 minutes before my meditation with standing, and wow, so much there. And I feel it's also so applicable to life because I feel I always find myself in the standing posture now. Like, oh, this is the same as this morning when I was just practicing standing, and oh, let me feel into this dance here and release, and washing the dishes. Oh, I'm also standing. Having a conversation. Oh, I'm standing again here. Yeah, yeah. Super simple, but somehow amazing.
In a way, what I want to ask is kind of the opposite, the quietness of standing. But I just want to say, when you said to look out and look at something alive, a fox ran across my field, which doesn't happen very often. So that was just exactly at that moment. That was so sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of like when I'm doing the walking meditation, if my mind, like if I'm in a kind of calm state, I just love the walking. Sometimes the walking is so loud that I find myself just wanting to stand or wanting to close my eyes and just kind of like remove some of the stimulus.
Yeah.
And just curious if you've got anything to say about that, or whether you would encourage us not to do that so much. But I really enjoy the standing parts of the walking meditation at times, and sometimes I just don't want to carry on walking.
Mm, mm. Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah. I think both is important, the standing and the walking. You can somehow savor the standings in the walking, but also not to get stuck in standing, because it's like a little bit like life. No, we love some parts of the life, and some other parts feel really rough and loud, and we're also kind of becoming more comfortable with, okay, like, love the standing, but I also like take the step again. I not get too aversive to walking, and also not create too much difference, like duality, like standing is like this and amazing, and walking is kind of far away from that, and there's in my mind a lot of distance or polarity, but really to actually in a kind of casual way or ordinary way, just, yeah, okay, like, let me take the step and see what this is about, and yeah, but also enjoy some standing. I also love, like, during walking, just to take a minute to stand and even close the eyes, and
Great, that really helps. Thank you.
mm, mm, great. Mm.
I have something, but it is a recording. I will not open the